Hi, thanks for joining me. Roger Crow here, and I'm going to be talking a little bit about the new adaptation of Stephen King's classic 1980s novel It, which has finally made it to the big screen after years in development hell. Now, chances are you may have seen the classic Tim Curry TV movie from the early 1990s, in which he gave a fantastic performance as the evil Pennywise the Clown. That version was very good actually, and having read the book, which was 1100 plus pages, I'll be honest, it was a bit of a pain. And it contained a lot of stuff that didn't really need to be there. There's a good 100 pages about some sort of ancient bird monster, which I remember being a bit redundant. So obviously, when the TV movie came along, it was a bit of a breath of fresh air that they'd cut it to the bone. Now, the new version, the 2017 version, directed by a guy called Andy Muschietti, is even leaner. Um, Now, it's probably a little bit of a spoiler to mention the fact that they've left the way open for a sequel, but not at the detriment of the film. I think they've done a really good job. The cast is fantastic. The young cast really clicked together. There's a star-making turn from an actress who may remind you of Molly Ringwald. In fact, they even cross-reference Molly Ringwald in the film, which is superb. The script is great, the soundtrack is fantastic, and Bill Skarsgård, what an amazing performance. Up there with Heath Ledger for his turn as Pennywise the Clown. Creepy, eerie, funny, and just out there, really. I think it's going to be a massive, massive hit, and certainly a breath of fresh air after the bit of car crash that was the Dark Tower. So, if you like what you're hearing in a few minutes' time, then fantastic. You can read more of my reviews at crowsfeet.wordpress.com, or just click on more of my pending YouTube video reviews. Enjoy. So, It 2017, directed by Andy Muschietti, starring Bill Skarsgård, Sophie Lillis, Jada Liebenherder, or something. It's 30 years to the month since I first read It, Stephen King's 1100-page epic about a bunch of kids terrorised by an evil force. Though overlong and filled with some unnecessary scenes that outstay their welcome, the core of the story was compelling. King took his time breathing life into his eclectic characters, and due to the length of the book, I didn't so much read as inhabit that world. Decades after Tim Curry's superb turn as the evil clown Pennywise in a pretty good TV movie, we finally have the big screen version. I'd expected a disaster, especially seen a few weeks after the car crash that was the Dark Tower adaptation. So it's a relief to report that not only is It, 2017, one of the best King adaptations so far, it's also one of the best horror films of the year. Blessed by a terrific cast of young actors, including standout turns from Finn Wolfhard, that kid from Stranger Things, and the brilliant Sophie Lillis in a star-making turn as Beverly, just about the only likeable female character in the movie. It sucks you in from the achingly sad pre-credit sequence. Reading the novel in 1987, I didn't empathise much with the young character who introduces us to the demonic Pennywise, but age changes a lot of things. I will him not to go near that storm drain and just carry on running and live a happy life, but that would be a pretty short and very different film. Of course, the star of the show is Pennywise, a stunning performance from Bill Skarsgård, playing it with a mix of mischief and malevolence. His drooling, grinning, leering character is the most memorable screen villain since Heath Ledger's Joker in 2008. There's so many jump scares in the movie and plenty of laughs too. The tone is just right. A laugh here, a scream there. However, the format is also a little annoying. Every young character, once they're alone, suffers visions and hallucinations, so there's not much of a surprise when monsters jump out. Thankfully, it's also very weird in places. Once the kids find the obligatory haunted house, art directed to within an inch of its life, the scene is set for a thrilling showdown. Secondary characters such as the inevitable young thugs who terrorise our heroes are also well cast. Whether coincidence or intentional, the lead villain has that air of the psycho Sid from Toy Story, while the shadow of other King adaptations looms large over the movie. The main influence is Stand By Me, and there are also nods to Carrie and The Shining, but without being the obvious Easter eggs displayed through the Dark Tower. Of course, compressing 1100 plus pages into 2+ hours of screen time means something is going to get jettisoned. And with the door left open for a sequel, or the rest of the actual novel, it means both fans of the source material and newcomers shouldn't feel shortchanged. Wisely updated to the late 1980s, though it still feels like it's set in the 1950s or 60s, this is one of those movies that will easily make its budget back and may even become the most lucrative King adaptation so far. It will give some nightmares and make others spill their popcorn. What more do you need from a successful horror movie? 8 out of 10.